Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Napick and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us on our very first show right here on 950 KPRC, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. While this is our first show on 950, this is not our first real estate radio show. Real Estate Matters has been heard for the past 300 weekends, and you can go to stewart.com/Houston to see the past guests or hear any of the shows. And like the introduction stated, every week we go forth to entertain, inform, and even inspire. And we do this by talking about real estate and things that relate to the home here in Houston and sometimes far beyond. In doing so, we have many guests on each and every show to get that job done. And many of you listening right now have done business, know about Stewart Title, and we thank you for that, whether it's a real estate, a residential transaction, or commercial. Many of you may not know we've started about 120 plus 7 years ago. We don't look a day over 90 right in Galveston, Texas. We're an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange. This show is a joint effort between Stewart Insurance and Stewart Title, and we will be hearing from Stewart Insurance just a little bit later. On with the show, our first guest is no stranger to Houston, Texas. She is well known right here in Houston and far beyond. The one and only Roseanne Rogers.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Here we are in our brand new home, KPRC. It's super exciting.
It's exciting, and I kind of been here before. Back in my day, I used to be on the radio, and I used to come up to this station right here. So it's just like, things come full circle, and I'm so excited for Stewart Title. I'm so excited to be on KPRC. AM 950. This is really wonderful.
It is tremendous. And we'll tell people, certainly you are well known as a media personality here in Houston, but for many years, you have now been with Stewart Title as the sales manager. What's that all about, in case people don't know?
Oh, that's a loaded question there, Bill. I mean, how long do we have? These folks that are listening right now do not want it, but being the sales manager is pretty amazing. I do all the marketing and PR and events for our group, the Houston division. And we have 36 units in our division. And we have several different business development officers. Not every office has a business development officer, but all of them have branch managers. And so our customers can certainly call on them. Some of them have dual roles with 2 hats. They do marketing as well as they do as far as being an escrow officer and a branch manager. So I work with all our business development officers throughout the city of Houston, which is very, very exciting. And right now we have so much going on because it's 2020. It's January, and our chief economist, Dr. Ted C. Jones, is doing his outlook for 2020.
He has been making the rounds in a tremendous way.
I'll say.
And the crowds this year, for some reason, I guess real estate is on people's minds all the time, but they're thinking about it. And Dr. Jones is just getting tremendous crowds all over the Houston area. And, of course, when he leaves here, he goes beyond. As I said, we're all over the United States, Stewart Title, and an international company.
Well, Dr. Jones, as far as what stayed the same, what has changed as far as our economic outlook in 2020, and like our show's name, real estate matters. It matters to a lot of people. Think about our economy here in Houston, Texas. It's huge. And we are so many things that are mirrored as far as related to real estate and how our economy grows. So it's very, very exciting to hear from Ted and what he has to say and moving beyond, because if you do want to build your business, it's important that you hear from him. And if you missed one of his presentations, it's okay. Just reach out to one of your local business development officers in your area, and they can connect you with what this presentation was all about.
And let's tell people, as far as the business development officer, we're going to use that term ongoing on this show.
Yes.
And many people may not know, certainly those in the real estate profession, realtors, mortgage people may know, but our business development officers, I say it all the time. In fact, I have a bumper sticker, and it says, stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. Let's tell them what they do and how they're a resource, not just for real estate professionals, but for everybody.
Well, first of all, making sure that transaction goes completely smoothly. But let's face it, there's a lot that goes on between when those transactions happen. So we have CE classes that we provide for all of our realtors. We also do special presentations like the Ted C. Jones presentation for the economic outlook for 2020, as well as Don't Get Rocked by a Hurricane. We are a resource from pretty much from inception to completion and everything in between. So we can help someone grow their business. We can help make sure they keep their customers happy, because let me tell you, when you're buying a house or selling a house, it's very emotional. And we want to make sure it goes very, very smoothly.
And it's good for people to know how to reach the business development officer. I tell them, just go to Stewart.com.
Stewart.com. That's exactly what you can do. And just put what area that you're in, and then it will list. Our website is very efficient, where it says who the branch manager is, who the business development officer is, and also who else is in the office, so you're very familiar with it. And part of that is the experience. Where any business that you're in, you want to differentiate yourself from others. And how do you do that? And I think at Stewart Title and our business development officers, as well as our escrow officers and managers, we do that because it's all about the experience. And let's face it, we all remember when we don't have a pleasant experience.
That's right.
We all remember it. I don't care if it's 25 years ago, Bill, you're going to tell me about it, right? So we really want to make sure that every transaction is very, very smooth. And then also supporting realtors throughout the year, because they wear a lot of hats and they have a lot of responsibility, and we need to be pretty much right there with them to help them and support them and be a resource for them 24/7.
Indeed, we do. And we have our team that is assembled and prepared to help each and every real estate professional out there, as the real estate professional has their own team, like they have their favorite title company. And most of the time, that's Stewart Title, right?
Right.
Title companies, home inspectors, all these people.
Everything. I feel like we have some of the best partners in the business of real estate, because we partner with people to make sure that experiences go smoothly. And that's what makes it so exciting. All of us, let's face it, Bill, real estate's in your blood, isn't it? I mean, we get excited. Are we excited about real estate? I mean, I wake up and I'm like, I admit, I look at inventory all the time too. I still do. I can't help it. I cannot help it, because I want to be familiar, whether it's Cypress, it's Kingwood, it's Galveston, it's the heart of the Galleria. I want to know what's happening and what the real estate market looks like.
That is a very important point, because people don't have to be going through a real estate transaction to be excited about real estate radio shows, real estate TV shows. Mm-hmm. And you are right. You could have just moved into your home and you're still looking at property because it is compelling. And especially with the website, HAR, they make it easy. You can pick your favorites. You can go back. Did this sell yet?
It's great. It's what we do, and it's very, very exciting to see the real estate market in Houston, Texas, the fourth largest city in the country. There's always something going on that's exciting. And
even going back to a long time ago, before the internet, people were excited about it via the Sunday afternoon paper. How about that? That was the first section that we would go to.
I still go to that, Bill. What are you talking about?
I don't get the paper.
I get Sundays. I get the Sunday Houston Chronicle because of that. I like the Zest section because it has a lot of lifestyle, and also has the home section because it always features somebody's lovely house.
I love that.
Or has trends in real estate, because we have to keep up with the trends in our business. And I still look at the paper.
And
I still circle and circle. I'm old school. I like it.
Roseanne, let's tell people how they can reach you and reach our business development people once again.
Say Stewart.com. And you can all find, obviously, on all social media platforms, all of our business development officers are. And a lot of our offices do have websites, too. Galveston, Tomball, Cypress, Fine Properties, Kirby, social media. Just Google us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roseanne Rogers.
Thanks,
Roseanne, thank you so much for being on the show.
Much.
As I said, we have tremendous guests assembled. Stay with us. We're coming right back with those guests.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.
Here we go. Our second guest, he is, I don't know if you're following along, Roseanne Rogers. That's RR. And guess what? Our next guest is RR. He is
Richard. Double R, yeah. Richard Ray.
Richard Ray. He is with John Doherty Realtors. And Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I do want to say this. I mentioned that we've had over 300 broadcasts. And by the way, we're excited that you're on our first one here at KPRC, but you were on one of our very first ones a long time ago.
I remember that. When was that? It's been several years. But
well, you don't look like you've aged a bit. So let's tell people. People read the Business Journal, all the different publications. First of all, John Doherty Realtors, had an announcement recently. Let's tell them about that. What's going on at your company?
We did. Actually, it was right before the end of the year. I think it was right before Christmas. So everything was kind of happening at once. But we have now aligned ourselves with Douglas Elliman Real Estate, which is based out of New York City. John Doherty Realtors was established in 1967. But these guys have us beat. They started in 1911.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that about the company.
1911 in New York City. But, they're a giant firm. I mean, they're about 100 times larger than John Doherty Realtors. And so it's pretty exciting. They've got 120 offices nationwide, over 7,000 agents. So we're going to join a force that's large. It's big. Over $28 million in sales, and so it's a large company. Excuse me, that was B with a billion, by the way. But it's kind of interesting. Douglas Elliman, they sell about one property every 12 minutes.
Well,
that's pretty amazing. By the time we're done here, they'll have sold one.
Another one sold.
And they are the second largest independent brokerage in the United States by sales volume. So we think that we're actually aligning ourselves with someone who has really the same DNA as we do. So what we're seeking to be really is like a local expert that's got international and global intelligence. So,
well, the first thing that comes to mind I did not know they started in 1911, was it?
Yes, sir.
That is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But what I thought about is that we hear it all the time. Sometimes here, they talk about the Heights. Like, well, if I had bought something in the Heights, I was thinking if I would have bought something in 1911 in Manhattan, hey, it'd be worth something now. You think?
I'm sure they were paying $10,000 or $20,000 for places back then. So.
That is incredible. So this with Douglas Elliman, let's tell people more about how that's going to impact the buyers and sellers that work with you, because already John Doherty is top notch. John is an incredible individual. Sherry, they have a tremendous team. You being a top producer for many, many years, but how is this going to manifest itself to the buyers and sellers? Well, the good
thing about it is we're all going to be there. Okay, it's going to be just the same as it's been. John and Sherry will be there in very similar roles that they had previously. And we're going to operate pretty much as John Doherty Realtors, a Douglas Elliman company. And so you're going to get the same people that you've always seen, same type of local expert service. But now we had, like I said, that global intelligence. Douglas Elliman has a relationship and an alliance with Knight Frank. So that's a firm that's based out of London. And so that's kind of our international piece. They're in like 60 different countries. They translate the listings into 22 different languages. They're a huge firm. So that now gives us access to that international market. So for our sellers here, it's a small world these days. So for our sellers, that gives them access to the world and lets them see our listings here in Houston. It's great for our sellers here who may be looking for multiple properties in other cities. Because we're all over the U.S. and we're all over the world. And then I think the biggest thing is for buyers, it gives them a lot bigger selection. So it sort of opens up the world to Houston, Texas. The thing about Houston is, we're so diverse. 1 in 5 Houstonians were actually born overseas. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know. You are full diverse. Of tremendous trivia here, Richard. Keep going, man.
We actually have the largest Vietnamese population outside of Vietnam. So we're a hugely diverse city, but then we're big. There are more citizens in Houston than in the population of 15 states. So we're very large. We've got over 666 square miles, so we're a very large geographic city. And do you know the 2021 budget, just approved by the City Council, was $5.1 billion. That's billion with a B. It blows your mind at the size of Houston. So we're ready to be on the global stage. And what Douglas Elliman does is brings that stage to Houston.
We are talking with Richard Ray, top producer at John Doherty Realtors. Richard, one of the things, you have some superpowers. You are a top producer. If there are real estate professionals out there listening, and that's one of the things on this show, they can improve their game by learning from each other. Mm-hmm. And what you do, top producer, that doesn't come easy in the real estate world. But you have a thing that you do. I already know the answer, but let's tell people, the way you get a jump on the day and how you operate your business.
Okay. Well, we've always heard early bird gets the worm, and it really it depends on how you operate. But for me, that's what makes the difference. We're all very, very busy every day. So what happened is, years ago, the day just never ended. I was never able to get my stuff done. Clients want to see houses. We've got to show listings. And it was a little bit frustrating. So what I decided is, I've got to get in front of that. And the only way to get in front of that is to get up early. So while I used to get up, last time I was on the show, I was getting up about 3:30 in the morning. But I have adjusted it to about 4 o'clock now. So
sleeping in.
Yeah, just a little bit, mainly because my trainer at the gym, it doesn't come in until a little bit later, so we kind of move that around. So now normally, 4 o'clock, 7 days a week, Bill, that's the key. I get up, I'm able to get things done, get to the gym, go to the grocery store. I'm at that HEB at about 6:20 every morning. Let me tell you what, it is highly efficient because there's nobody else there. So I get things done, get home, get my work done, bills paid, things like that, communicate with international clients via email, which is very impressive because they're like, man, this guy's up early. Mm-hmm. But what that allows me to do is get my things done, things for me. Then I'm available the rest of the day and up until 9 o'clock for all my clients, buyers and sellers.
That is a tremendous discipline, but it is much needed. One of the things you said is productivity, or you mentioned productivity. Mm-hmm. That is very important to do things I do that with trying to manage the Houston traffic because I want to be productive too. Sure. And being in traffic is not productive. So, hey, at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, hey, we can drive
you can
right
get
up.
around real fast. Yeah,
that is correct.
It's nice. Yeah. But that's really the things, and to keep me as a top producer, it is not easy. It means working hard all the time, and I've got a saying that I use a lot: work hard, be nice. So I think humility goes into it a lot. I think we have to remember that our clients and customers come first. And then I like to practice sort of a servant leadership type of role because I think that's the best way to get folks in line and to help them see what you want them to do and to make things the best for our clients.
It really is. Let's tell people how they can reach out to you, Richard.
Well, sure. It's I'm John Doherty Realtors. We're, of course, locally right here on Post Oak, 520 Post Oak. But you can reach me directly through my number at 713-351-4674.
One more time.
713-351-4674.
And also, before we close out this segment, what else should people know?
What else should
be
people
nice?
know?
I like that. In this environment lately,
be nice.
2020, it's the year. Let's be nice. Let's be productive. All those great things, right?
Yeah, I think the most important thing, again, is just it's a fantastic market that we're in. It's almost like when the clock struck midnight in January, just 20 days ago, it was okay to buy a house. So the good thing is the market is really picking up in Houston. My listings are getting more showings than we had the 3 months prior. So it's a great time to be a buyer, and I think it's a great time to be a seller. And to quote Ted Jones, which we've all heard, and hopefully most of you will hear, pretty much if you don't have your house on the market by the second week in February, you're going to miss that all-important spring market. So if you're thinking about selling your home, the time to start getting that in gear on January 20th, at the end of January here is to get it in mind and get that on the market.
And call Richard Ray.
And call Richard Ray if you can, yeah.
The number?
713-351-4674.
I'm going to add to that. Be nice and get up early. We're coming right back with even more on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Nampick. Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you.
Stay with us, please.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Here we go. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Guess what? We're going to get into an international mode here just a little bit. Our guest is Lorna Ramsey with Keller Williams Metropolitan. We talk about top producers. That's right. We talk about hard working, productive working. Hey, Lorna, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. I'm so delighted to be back with you here and so happy to close with Stewart Title.
Oh, we like that part, too.
Absolutely, yes. I do it all the time.
Well, let's tell people, as far as the real estate market, your start into real estate, first of all, you are from Aberdeen, Scotland, right?
Yes, I am.
Let's tell people a little bit, because many people have not been there, including me, but just paint a little picture of Aberdeen, Scotland, and then tell people when you got here.
Sure. So Aberdeen, Scotland is a beautiful place in the world. It's always very cold, so lots of people don't go there for their summer holidays because it's a bit chilly.
I would go.
You would love it. Beautiful mountains, fabulous whiskey. In fact, gin has become very popular and lots of people are actually into doing gin tours more than the whiskey tours. Downton Abbey have actually just released a new gin and it's actually for sale here in the Goody wine.
The store, yeah, Goody. I remember that store.
Woodway, yes. So it's called Highclere in a beautiful purple bottle. I just recently went to the British Consulate here and they released it in Houston. So it's a fabulous new gin that they've just released. So Aberdeen is the oil capital of the UK, of Europe.
So like a sister city to Houston, in a way.
Yes, so I'm actually the president of the sister city of Houston. Houston has 18 sister cities, and Aberdeen was the 5th sister city back 41 years ago. So I am actually the president and the liaison between Aberdeen and Houston.
Oh, congratulations. That's quite an honor and a responsibility as well.
Absolutely, yes. You work with the Lord Provost and you work with the mayor here. A big event I organise every year is called the OTC Breakfast. So it's on the Saturday, the 2nd of May, and it welcomes the Scottish delegation to Houston the day before the OTC weekly event starts.
I'm starting to hear bagpipes. I don't know why. I'm just saying.
Of course.
But that's one of the things that's a distinction of Houston. The OTC is a tremendous, the Offshore Technology Conference has always been a big thing year after year, and you're playing an important role there.
Absolutely. To be able to welcome the Scottish delegation, to give them introductions to people here in Houston, its company, its charity, its culture. What we do with this is actually raise money and funds to have 2 nurses from Houston Baptist University and 2 nurses from Aberdeen Robert Gordon's University do a student exchange. And this year we celebrate the 21 years of doing that. So it's just a huge, meeting of minds and people from Aberdeen and Houston together.
And as far as your work in real estate, you go to Scotland regularly through the year, right?
Correct.
Let's tell people about the marketplace. There used to be a lot of people coming from Aberdeen here. You're serving them. In fact, I know you list some of the people that have homes here. You're listing their homes, yet they're over in Scotland. Let's tell people about that international aspect of the market and how you're helping people.
So I have clients all over the world, and it's usually because they have a house here and they've been moved to somewhere else in the world. So they're working in Singapore or Aberdeen or somewhere else, and they're still own their property here, but they lease it out. So I do a lot of high-end leasing because expats coming in aren't always able to buy a property. Their company will want them to be here for 2 or 3 years, and what they'll do is live in a high-end rental during that time. Or if they do buy it and they move somewhere else in the world, I'll take on their property and lease it out for them. So I do a lot of selling, buying, and high-end leasing.
That's a lot of stuff.
That's just crazy.
It is crazy, but I will tell people, you are a top producer. You do that because you work very productively many hours per day.
Correct, yes. So I have closed the most transactions as a single agent in Keller Williams for the last 8 years. Our office has over 600 agents, and I do work by myself. I don't work in a team. I work very hard. I was raised on a farm in the Highlands of Scotland, so you were raised to work, and that's what I do.
So almost everybody in this room is used to getting up early. I'm an early riser.
The early bird catches the worm.
And I told that to someone. They said, but I'm not in the worm business. But anyway, that's another story. I get up early right now in real life, and I take care of the animals too. But their names are Callie and Elvis, and they are my canine companions.
Yes, well, mine were cows in my early days.
Well, let's tell people, as far as 2020, give us an idea of the outlook of the real estate world right now as you see it, and with that little touch of international Scotland.
So I do see it improve. I see more companies taking people in. Again, the expats are definitely on the increase in Houston, which is great news. I too went to Ted Jones at the Stewart Economist last week, and he had a very positive look out for 2020. Mortgage rates are still very low, so if you're looking to buy, they said millennials are turning 40, so they're not as young as they used to be, and so we have a huge market of millennials coming in, and things look really positive for 2020.
Very exciting. So as far as right now with buyers and sellers, who are you working with more? Buyers or sellers, or is it even?
Even.
Even Steven, huh?
Even Steven,
That
yes.
is incredible. And out of those, the even Steven mode, how many of those, now you're serving people that are not from Scotland or other international places. You're serving people that, like, if I wanted to move from one part of town to Houston, you're doing that as well, too.
Oh, yes, I do that too. Yes, But it's very helpful for people who are coming from overseas, to understand the market in a different language, because we might all be speaking English, but it's a very different English from people from Scotland. It's a very different way of doing business. And so to be able to translate it and take time and, understand both of that markets makes it very easy for the buyers.
That's right. There are many nuances to international real estate, and been in that world for how many years?
I celebrate 10 years this year, so that's 10 years I've been with Keller Williams Metropolitan, and even them, they're going into change. The innovation, and he's becoming a technology company more than just real estate, and you have to move the times, and so much changes in Houston.
That's a good point. As far as technology goes in real estate, especially helping the international clientele, how is it helping you now, and what kind of things are you using, say, technology-wise?
Oh, Dot Loop is just a lifesaver. To do electronic signature and be having people all over the world is just so easy, as opposed to having to run I-10 in your car to get signatures. Today we're so lucky with electronic signature.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's absolutely wonderful.
Now, not that you have any spare time, I don't know, but in your spare time, what do you do as far as a hobby, and what do you like to do around Houston?
Actually, I do have some spare time. The great thing with technology, you have the phone in your hand and you can go anywhere in the world. And I just actually came back from a 21-day trip to Dominican Republic in Punta Cana. I was looking at different properties and different, ways of living. And so with your technology in your hand, you can travel the world and still sell houses.
That's if you're smart and know how to do it, like you, Lorna Ramsey with Keller Williams Metropolitan, right?
Correct. So you've got to change with the times and just get on with it.
And as far as 2020, after the OTC, and I know that's right on your mind right now, but what else are you seeing for this year that you're excited about?
I'm so excited. I have actually received a Scottish Samurai Award, and it's in recognition for my contribution to charity and Scottish culture here in Houston. So on the 29th of March, I fly back to Edinburgh, and I'm being awarded this amazing award. It's called a Shogun Award, and it's quite an honour.
And Lorna, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
So it's Lorna Ramsey at kw.com or 713-884-9678, or Google my name and it comes up all over the place.
The number again is?
713-884-9678.
There you go. Thank you, Lorna Ramsey. We're coming right back with much more. Stay with us on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title.
Thank you.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
And now, from Stewart Title, we have Mitch Creekmore. He is a Senior VP of Commercial in our Commercial Division. Mitch, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Here
Pleasure
we go.
to be back again.
Well, it's great to see, especially on our first show right here. I mentioned Stewart Title early on is an international company. What's interesting, I think many people don't know, we started right here in Galveston, Texas, came to Houston, international company. You have had your hand in the international part of Stewart Title for many years. Let's tell people what you do for the company.
Well, it's the vision of our patriarch, Mr. Stewart Morris, that in 1994, with the changes to NAFTA and the creation of the new foreign investment laws in Mexico, we saw an opportunity to provide title insurance services to foreign purchasers of Mexican real estate. So we started the Mexico division. Two of us came together. We had an underwriter coming from El Paso, and Hector and I started the Mexico division. And so here we are 26 years later. We created Stewart Title Guarantee de Mexico, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Stewart Title Guarantee. We were the first and the only Mexican title insurance underwriter, gaining approval from Mexico's National Commission of Bonds and Insurance. And so we are an insurance company under Mexican law, and we are still there. I'm happy to say that we had the best year, 2019, that we've had in the past 11 years for our operations.
Very exciting. And when I think about I used to do business with another company in Mexico. And one of the things, whether we do business here in the States or anywhere else, building relationships is so important. But my memories of working in Mexico, they seem to have even more of an emphasis on family and relationships. In fact, I remember a business meeting where they're like, well, we really don't want to know about what you're selling yet. We just want to know about you to see if it's going to work. You see that all the time there, right?
Oh, that's absolutely correct. I mean,
in fact, they take you into the family, at least in this case.
In my particular background, it made it easier because I'm actually half Mexican. My mother, my aunts, my grandmother are all Mexican citizens, born and raised in Mexico. I'm bilingual, so I had the credibility that I was able to gain, Bill, by going down there, and the fact that I'm a gringo, but the fact that I was 50% Mexican made it more advantageous in terms of my business.
Well, as we look ahead let's take Mexico for right now, for 2020, how do you see the marketplace now, and how do you see that we're going to do down there?
Well, as I said, we had our best year in the past 11 for Stewart Title Guarantee de Mexico. Most of it is commercially driven. The residential markets, as we discussed previously, really went through a very difficult time after the real estate collapse here and the financial crisis. Markets went to nothing. By 2014, we began to see more activity. Problem with Mexico is there's no financing, so it's a cash-driven market. We had to lay off a number of people employed with our company because there just wasn't the level of activity from a residential sector. The markets have come back very nicely. I was in Los Cabos, Mexico in November. It's an absolutely incredible marketplace. It's $1,200 a square foot real estate.
Wow.
Now think about that. $1,200 a square foot real estate in the Los Cabos market. And there is a tremendous demand with a very limited supply, so that's what's driven these prices very high. So we're optimistic. The commercial sector is still very good for us. There's some major U.S. players that will finance whole portfolios of industrial and commercial properties, and that's really where a lot of our premium revenue has been generated.
As far as other markets that you cover, let's tell people about some of the other places that you go.
You probably remember this, Bill. I'm actually an educator and author. I've co-authored 2 books. The first one was on cashing in on a second home in Mexico. The second was on Central America. Lorna had mentioned previously about going to the Dominican Republic. So the second book on Central America covers all 7 Central American countries. I've traveled to all of those countries. I have spoken at a number of conferences around the world on international real estate and basically our technology, what we brought to the international arena, being able to provide that security and education to foreign purchasers of all types of international real estate.
As far as ideas and principles of success that you have used, especially as you're reaching out to different cultures, Mexico, what are some of the things that you do every day or that have served you well as far as just basic things that are good practices, that are good Mitch practices?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to be knowledgeable about the various markets, understanding. I'm in the Spanish markets principally, but we also work in the Eastern Caribbean. As part of my relationship with the Houston Association of Realtors, I'm a special advisor to the International Advisory Group. I've written courses on various types of real estate for the benefit of Texas agents as well as Houston agents and around the country for that. I'm a certified international property specialist, a designation coming from the National Association of Realtors. So I've had the real pleasure to work with a lot of agents around the United States because of their interest in international real estate transactions. One of the biggest benefits that I think that we provide is the educational awareness of how do you transact real estate, whether it's commercial or residential, in any country, and we're able to provide that expertise to them for their benefit.
So it makes me think about, what are some of the most unique things that people do in, say, other countries, or maybe there's one country that sticks out where it's something really different than the way we do it here?
That's absolutely correct, and the reason is because in these Central American countries and Mexico, with the exception of Belize, these are civil code jurisdictions. So there are no title companies. Title companies do not exist anywhere in the world outside of our U.S. borders. Transactions are handled by public notaries. Whether you go to Brazil, whether you go to Italy, whether you go to Mexico, whether you go to Costa Rica, every transaction is handled by a public notary who is an attorney. They're the highest attorneys in the land. It's difficult to become notarios públicos in these countries. Then you change and you go to common law jurisdictions. If you go to Belize, if you go to St. Kitts, if you go to Barbados, these countries are still common law jurisdictions, and so now you're using solicitors that handle 100% of the transaction. We are in the international arena a service provider. We have no legal standing to close anything. We don't record anything. We're not responsible for documents. We are a service provider, and those services have been title insurance policies and escrow services historically.
Fascinating. Let's tell people, what are some of the things you think they should know also as people are listening about the international markets, and or how does that affect us here?
I think it's important that if you're going to have an interest in a particular country, you need to understand the legal mechanics of how you transact real estate. How do you get good title to that real estate? Who's going to handle it? Part of what I think was the most fun for me was that when we first went into Mexico as a civil code jurisdiction, nobody understood the concept. And Mexico is the most complicated country to purchase real estate in, because it has a constitutional prohibition on foreign ownership. That's what changed in 1994. Mexico has a very defined restricted zone, and so as a result, you have to use Mexican bank trust. In Spanish, it's called a fideicomiso. You don't have to use a fideicomiso to get good title to residential real estate in any of these other countries. It's unique to Mexico. But it was one of the things that we educated and pioneered to say, okay, this is how you're going to get good title to this residential real estate located in this restricted zone.
And Mitch, other than business, you've had the opportunity, like many people, I used to travel for 30 years, many places. It's gave me the idea of finding my favorite places and then going back on vacation. Give us an idea, maybe 2 places that you'd really love to go back to for vacation when you're not doing business.
Well, I think Europe is beautiful. I had the opportunity to travel to Scotland, to Ireland, into England. Italy is possibly one of my very favorites. I tell you what was kind of interesting and funny. When we were in Scotland, it was hard for the Brits to understand how big Texas is. The geographic area of Texas is larger than all of Great Britain, and that was hard for them to put their arms around, that fact that Texas is that big. So I still love traveling to Mexico. I love traveling to Central America and the Eastern Caribbean.
And Mitch, how can people reach you if they want to learn more, or even learn more about your books?
I'm at Stewart Title, mcreek, M-O, at Stewart.com. 713-724-3381. Like Lorna said, if you Google my name, it'll come up and you'll see everything that I've done for the past 26 years for Stewart Title.
Thank you so much, Mitch Creekmore. We're coming right back with even more. Stay with us, please.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Here we go. I want to tell people Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. This show would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today, and they invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage the risks. And today, guess what? We have John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance, and we're going to talk about a big word, 2 words, risk mitigation. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Nice to be here.
And not only that, you and Tom Carpentier, who leads Stewart Insurance in a magnificent way 24/7, even when he sleeps, you guys were the visionaries to bring us right here to 950. We thank you for that.
Oh, we're so excited to be part of the iHeartMedia family. We feel like that experience is going to be even better for our guests and really share the strength of Stewart Title and what Stewart Title brings to the real estate community, not only in Houston, but across the U.S. and around the world.
It is awesome to be here, and it was a great idea on your part and Tom's. So we think about that big word, mitigation. What is risk mitigation? What should we know? What should people know about it?
Well, let's look at a small word to help us with the big word. So what we're trying to do is make sure that our real estate brokers, partners, agents are doing everything they can so they don't get sued. Specifically from a cyber perspective, that there are so many fraudsters that are out there. And if we have time, I have a couple of stories to share to bring it home. But that short word is SMART. So beginning of the year, people are setting SMART goals, and they're establishing their SMART goals for the year. So I wanted to use that acronym as a way to kind of think about how you might be able to minimize or mitigate the risk that you have as a real estate broker or an agent. So the S would be set procedures. Have procedures in place that you're going to follow every day with every process, with every transaction to make sure that your communications are understood so you can minimize the fraudsters getting involved with the transaction and stealing either data or funds. So the M is mandatory. You make it mandatory. It's not something I think we're going to do or we might do or we should do, but it's something we are going to do. The A is area of expertise. We've talked about this on the show several times. Is let's focus on our area of expertise. We are real estate professionals. Let's focus on the real estate world. Let's not be giving out information or guidance on inspections or roof construction or insurance, that you have partners that you can rely on to share with your clients and prospective clients in that area. So focus on your area of expertise. The R is for record. Record everything, write it down, document it so that you can show if you do get into a legal situation and you are sued, that you can show the courts that, yes, I follow this process on a regular basis, and this is how you know that I have by I've documented all that information. So the R is record. And then finally, the T is telephone. Don't forget the telephone. If there's a change in procedures, there's a change in process, there's a change in where the funds need to go. Don't just assume that you received it by email. That makes it so. Pick up the phone and call to confirm. And don't just use the phone number on the email. Use the phone number from the originating documents.
And everyone in this room that has spoken has seen, I'll mention him again, Dr. Ted C. Jones, and that was his last slide in his presentation as he was bringing forth a good economic outlook for the real estate world in 2020. He also said cybersecurity was that last slide. We need to be mindful of that and on our guard, systems and procedures, and double check, eyes wide open all the time.
Absolutely. So SMART, set procedures, make it mandatory, area of expertise, so that's where you're going to focus, record, write everything down, and telephone.
And you were going to share a story, John.
So there was a couple in Kansas last year, minister retiring, having grandchildren. So the family wanted to move closer to, he and his wife wanted to move closer to the grandchildren. So they sold their home and they're buying a new home. It was going to be a cash transaction. So this is an actual email correspondence that they received. And this is coming from the fraudster. This is coming from the cyber criminal. Hello, Ross and Melinda. In preparation for your closing on the 30th of November, the closing balance will be required to be wired on the 26th of November. I would like to know if you would be able to prepare the wire on the 26th so I can inform, and they had the name of the actual title company. Sent from their iPhone with a real estate agent's signature on it. So Melinda responded and said, we'll bring our checkbook to the closing. So that's not going to help the fraudster. So the fraudster sends another email back to Melinda and Ross a couple days ago. Hello, Melinda. Due to the increasing incidence of fraud with certified bank checks, we require all funds needed for closing to be tendered in a form of wire transfer. We no longer accept certified checks as good funds. Again, looking like it came from the real estate agent. So Ross and Melinda sent their funds to what was a fraudulent account. Money's lost.
John, let's tell people how they can reach out to you at Stewart Insurance.
866-798-2827. 866-798-2827. Stewart Insurance at Stewart.com.
And I do want to reference once again Stewart.com/Houston, because we've had 3 shows with tons of very important information on cybersecurity.
Absolutely.
You can find them in the archives at Stewart.com/Houston. Stewart Insurance. The phone number, I think, was
866-798-2827.
We're coming right back with even more. Thank you, John Bramlett and Tom Carpentier, who's not here, but I know he's on the job.
Absolutely.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.
And here we go, winding up show number 1, but we're not done yet. We have everybody coming right back. She is back, the Real Estate Buzz with Roseanne Rogers. I just want to say that one time.
Thank you, Bill. It's a real estate buzz. We're always buzzing about real estate.
We are buzzing. We love it. Let's tell people before we close out the show, what else should people know? This is the beginning of a brand new adventure for the show and a brand new. It's all coming together in an unbelievable way.
Well, it's 2020, and it holds a great deal for everyone out there as far as their business is concerned. So please reach out to your local business development officer. Also with Dr. Ted C. Jones. If you did miss one of his presentations, please reach out to them, because we will get that presentation to you and educate you on what's going on. One thing that Ted said, when we were in the room, he said, look to your left, look to your right. And he said, if you're not doing business, then someone next to you on either side got your business. So that means there's going to be a lot of business to be had out there. So I expect everybody, let's full court press and let's have a wonderful year. It's going to be another record-breaking year.
And I don't know if everybody got the flavor, but it's kind of there in that as far as Stewart Title, Stewart Insurance goes, we are a very unique title company. Yes, we have the longevity that over 126, 27 years doing business, but we have resources that other companies haven't even thought about. One of them is this show, Dr. Jones. And as we say, stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. They're there to help whether you're going through a transaction or not, or if you're just planning.
Well, let's just wait. Hurricane season is right around the corner, and we have our branded presentation, Don't Get Rocked by a Hurricane, and everything you need to know to make sure your customers and what you're doing in your business, you are ready for hurricane season.
And Roseanne, to say you have connections in town with some of the top people is an understatement, because
just wait who's going to do our presentation, because I already have it confirmed, just Roseanne, so you know.
Let's tell people how they can reach you, and then we're going to have an actual BDO on just for a minute or so.
That would be absolutely fabulous. It's Stewart.com. You can look for me on all social media outlets. It's Roseanne Rogers. I'm the sales manager for Stewart Title, and I'd like to introduce Christina Sacco, who is our wonderful BDO for Fine Properties. Christina?
Business Development Officer. That's what that means. Christina, welcome to the show. Show number 1.
I know. It's exciting. The studio is fabulous. It's conveniently located. We're in the center of everything you could possibly ever need to do.
It is tremendous. And let's tell people you work at our Fine Properties location, doing tremendous work there. Let's tell people how they can reach you, but also give them an idea of what you think about. We have, 15 plus BDOs, business development officers, as resources. But let's tell them, from your perspective, what you do and how you help real estate professionals out there every day.
Well, being a BDO, it's very exciting because we have the opportunity to reach all the real estate agents and help guide them and give them information to help them and their clients, especially with Ted Jones last week. The economic forecast, we're having a great, 2020 is on the horizon. It's off to a great rolling start. We've seen a lot of contracts come in of all different price ranges. And especially right after Christmas, we had a huge pop between Christmas and New Year's and contracts coming in. So those buyers are out there and they're shopping and looking around.
We have wonderful people like Christina Sacco all over the city.
Yes.
Although you are our first business development officer on our new home and our new show.
I'm so excited to be here.
How can people reach you?
713-816-6288, or you can email me at christina.sacco@stewart.com. We've got some great classes lined up, permitting, don't get rocked by a hurricane, and hopefully how to work with foreign buyers and sellers.
And the number again is?
713-816-6288.
He is back, R.R. Richard Ray. That's what that stands for. Richard, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
Here we go, closing out show number 1 on 950 KPRC. A tremendous time for people to think and hear about real estate Sunday afternoon. It's super awesome.
It is. And one thing to remember, we are so fortunate to live in the city of Houston. Things are going well. The economy is going very good. In 2018, we set a record for number of homes sold in the city of Houston. This last year in 2019, we broke that record, set a new record. So December sales were up like 14% over the prior year. It's a great time to buy or sell real estate here in Houston. So if you can, give me a call. I'd love to help you. That's 713-351-4674.
One more time.
713-351-4674.
And I bet they can call you early, too. No time is too early to call Richard.
Roseanne and I have some of the best conversations before 5 a.m.
Okay, I've got a new saying. No time is too early or too late to call Richard Ray.
Well,
wait a minute. There's a cutoff.
I got to be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Okay. Well, that's all right. No first show would be complete without saying hello to John Doherty.
Yes,
Sherry Fama, who I know are listening,
yep,
and Richard Elliman, wherever he is. He's probably in New York listening on the iHeartRadio app.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Don't forget johndoherty.com and soon Elliman.com.
Very nice, Richard Ray. And now, Lorna Ramsey, Keller Williams, Metropolitan. Lorna, before we close things out, let's tell people what else would you like them to know?
I would just like to thank everybody for my business, and I'm here to help them either to buy, sell, or lease their property here in Houston.
And people can call you anytime they want.
Anytime they like, 713-884-9678.
Let's tell people, though, when you are traveling, let's say you're in Scotland or, like you said, the Dominican Republic, people can still call.
Absolutely. Today with WhatsApp and international phone line, you can call any time of the day or night.
Because I remember years ago, international travel, oh, don't call me because it's going to be $1 million, right? But
yes.
Now it's totally different.
WhatsApp's free, so it costs you absolutely nothing to call.
Isn't that amazing? The world we live in is tied together in a magnificent way.
It's a very small world, wherever you are in it.
Be careful. That's right. Let's tell people, how can they reach you, Lorna?
Lorna Ramsey at kw.com, 713-884-9678.
And let's remind people again, the OTC show is coming up, and your role there is going to be?
I'm the president of the Houston Grampian Association, and it's held on the May 2nd at the new Post Oak Hotel, which is an absolutely beautiful
I was there
venue.
this weekend.
Gorgeous. So it's a 5-star hotel there on 610, and that's where we're having it this year. So it'll be a beautiful event.
I do need to interject. While I was there Friday night, 10 feet away from me was Lionel Richie getting out of the elevator.
Wow.
I said, wow, that guy looks like Lionel Richie.
And it was.
And it was. Can you imagine? You said that real quick. Let's go back 1 second. Grampian?
It's
What is the
Aberdeen.
Grampian? That's named after a mountain there in Scotland?
Yes.
See how I did my research?
You did your research. Well, that's very good.
Thank you. Grampian. All right. One more time. Your number is?
713-884-9678.
Super awesome. Thank you, Lorna.
Thank you, Bill.
Here he is. Before we close out the show, Mitch is back. Mitch Creekmore, Stewart Title. Mitch, we have, I said about the distinctions we have at Stewart Title. People like you on our team help us in such a tremendous way. I mean, it's just a great feature for us to have someone with your knowledge and your knowledge of all the cultures and what's happening at Stewart Title and your longevity. You're amazing.
Well, no, I'm just still there. Oh, it's the way and the evolution of everything now. I'm actually a commercial services BDO as well. but I'm really the international BDO, so all
About a minute and a half.
come in for the various countries. They get directed towards me, and our job is to help them out wherever they're going to try to transact real estate, to give them the references, provide the tools so that if wherever they want to go, there are certain curtain series we're not in and won't go to, but any that we are, we want to be able to work with them.
Excellent, Mitch. And one more time, if someone wants to reach out to Mitch Creekmore, what should they do?
Best way is to call me, 713-724-3381. As Lorna just mentioned, they can reach me anywhere in the world on that telephone number. Again, 713-724-3381.
Thank you so much, Mitch Creekmore. And on behalf of our first cast on this show, it has been excellent. Thank you all for listening. Again, this is our first show on 950 KPRC. We're very excited about being here on this tremendous platform and would encourage you once again, if you want to hear one of our past 308 plus shows, just go to Stewart.com/Houston, Stewart.com/Houston, and that's where this show will reside after we are finished. It's super awesome. Thanks for listening. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. On behalf of Roseanne Rogers, Tom Carpentier, Larry Warren, the whole team, everybody at Stewart Title, and we welcome you to be stewards of your real estate transaction, whether it's residential or commercial. Check us out at Stewart.com. Again, the archive is Stewart.com/Houston. We will see you next week right here at this same time, Stewart.com/Houston.